up, you guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if you are 50 Cent, you are on your victory lap. You literally have let us know that he is so diabolical that even the news station he did the announcement for was so Diddy could see him in jail. On top of that, JaRule came out sounding like a corny, lame loser. That's why you literally got caught up in the Fry Festival, because you can't understand real from fake and you don't know when the trends trade. But you know who somebody is? They are saying things might be fading. Young Miami. People are saying that Young Miami may be really, really upset about this Diddy documentary. Why? Because there was a scene in a Diddy documentary that the producers referred to her as Diddy's girlfriend. And it wasn't Miami on the phone. Y'all, let's sit down. And people are saying Miami is heated because she thought she knew about all of Diddy's girls and thought she was the official chick. But even while she thought she was the official chick, there was another girl that he was calling a lot more on FaceTime, saying he was going to the bank, about to change her life and all that stuff. Y'all, let's get into this. Where do we start? Let's start with Young Miami, right? Because Young Miami has always seemed, appeared on the outside, I don't know, to be comfortable with Diddy's harem. And again, if somebody wants to be in the harem, who am I to judge, right? As long as it's consensual. But with Diddy, is anything consensual? Is any? I don't know. Anyway, right? But she was fine as long as she was number one. That's why she was fighting in those streets with Gina, because she had to be number one. Meanwhile, Gina and Young Miami having Twitter feuds, and Diddy is up there on the phone, FaceTiming all the time. This bad little young thing that looks a lot like Dana Tran, but looked like a black version of Dana Tran. If you haven't watched the Diddy documentary, Sean Combs, The Reckoning on Netflix, please go watch it. Your girl is in it. I tell my experiences in court, but all jokes aside, it is super. Listen, you can rewatch it. There's so many things that come out. What happened? We found out that Diddy isn't a producer. He don't even know how to read music. He is very, very untalented. Pac, I remember when Pac accused Diddy of trying to take him out. It looks like he might have been right. Biggie, he did Biggie dirty, sending him to the West Coast. Biggie was on camera, terrified for his life. He recouped the expenses for a funeral. And also, don't listen to Biggie's estate manager, because if you go into his history, yeah, Diddy might have got to him, but also saying we didn't see anything in the royalty payments, you wouldn't see a recoup in the royalty. It literally, they deduct it before you even get a penny of royalty. But forget all that, right? The thing is, people are saying that Young Miami is upset about is during that time, she felt like she had won. And the streets are saying she felt like she was, because you know Diddy's good at playing mind games, and she felt like she had finally fought, got his attention, stood by him. She was shorty wop for real, only to find out that the whole time he was playing in her face. And go watch the doc, and the girl he was FaceTiming, it was the same girl. It was not Young Miami. People are saying she might be upset about it. And plus now Diddy's in jail, and get this, even though before Miami could have been happy holding Diddy's hand, talking about some, so please, he didn't treat me like that. Those were those girls. That's what they were there for. I was treated like a queen. I was in my womanhood. How you feel about the Diddy stuff? How you feel about the bad boy stuff? How you feel about the early stuff? Diddy's whole mask got pulled down by Alexandria, Vanessa, and 50 Cent, right? So Diddy's legacy is done. He literally is this generation's OJ. Anyway, Young Miami took to her stories and she said, if you knew how many people win when I win, you'd understand that my ambition was never greed. I guess that's because people were saying that Miami was just only with Diddy for what he could do for her, and that's all she cared about. Take me to the Chanel, take me to, and she's like, no, I think that's what she's trying to say. I have so many people depending on me. It looks like greed to you, but I was really just trying to make a better way for myself and the people I love, I guess. She goes on to say, I'm in the process of putting myself in a bigger position, and I'm not letting up. Well, girl, we've been waiting for that. We know you're talented. That's why Diddy even got with her. Diddy only got with people that had something special. Cassie had something special. Miami has something special. City Girls had something special. He broke that mess up. At least that's the way I see it. She better get back on Carisha, please. She better do whatever she can do. But she got the talent. She got the looks. And low key, she got the connections because she never turned on Diddy. And as much as people are saying, oh, that monster, everybody knew what time Diddy was on, right? But they were willing to look the other way, I believe, because that's the stuff that happens, not just in the record industry, but in the movie industry, in the entertainment industry, in all those industries, right? So maybe that was it. Maybe she couldn't turn away from Diddy, because if she did, she would get blacklisted and actually lose things. Now get this, right? Speaking of lose and losers, let's talk about JaRule. JaRule, he really posted, "You rat." I guess he's talking about the 50 Cent documentary. That's what everybody said he's talking about. "You rat. Always have been. Always will be an effing rat. Used car salesman suit wearing. Field goal nose having. Herman Munster head. A ninja." First of all, that's very anti-black. Field goal nose having. Did anybody call him drowned Stewart looking ferret ass nose buck teeth recessed chin, need some filler and a chin implant? But because you are broke because of Pride Festival, you can't do nothing but hope that on a reunion tour you don't get your head bust open by whoever else need to get a job, a ninja. That would be disrespectful if somebody called him a Stewart look like literally buck-tooth Stewart Little, no chin, recessed chin, need an implant, need some filler. Did anybody say that? Did anybody say he needs a jaw implant? That would be disrespectful. I think it's very anti-black to call somebody a field goal nose having. On top of that, used car salesman. Listen, first of all, I don't gotta defend 50. He is a certified billionaire. That boy can defend himself, and I'm not. Listen, but I will say this: the part that really grind my thing, you rat, always have been, always will be a rat. I've been seeing a lot of losers online because they feel betrayed by 50. Now, 50 is smart enough to be like, I see where this is going. It's no longer cool to do this stuff. There is a reckoning coming. And that's why 50 Cent is a billionaire. And y'all mofos are fighting or scrabbling on like tours or whatnot because he sees. Time's up, right? Time's up. Shout out to Drew Dixon. Shout out to Tiffany Red. Shout out to the people doing the work, right? But let me just say this. How is it all these people that are still out here making a fool of themselves, you're more concerned with people telling people about the dumb-ish than the actual dumb-ish itself? See, this is the one thing I do like about the Diddy trial, and there's not many, right? Because I think he should have been convicted of RICO. And we now see the jurors were fans. I don't know how a fan got on the jury. Did she lie about being a fan? I would go back into the jury questionnaire. But the funny thing is, right? How is it you're more mad about the dumb-ish that went on and telling about it than the actual dumbass? You don't care if women are abused. You don't care if Biggie had to pay for his whole funeral. Pac got shot. You don't care about none of that. All you care about is whether somebody spoke about it. Why? Because someone told you in your life that you can be a horrible person, but the code of the streets, I don't understand. That shit is dead. That is dead. No. You are not allowed to hide behind the culture. And the culture is not bigger than the program. The culture is made up by black bodies, black women, black men. The culture is not bigger than the program. And if the culture is not doing right by the people that made it, supported, feed it, and yes, help Diddy, JaRule, and everybody else monetize it, then the culture got to change. The culture got to adapt. But the sickness of these people, the fact that JaRule and the men from that generation are so twisted in the head that he felt comfortable saying you a rat always will be a rat. Yo, he's lost. Speaking of somebody that lost big time, Diddy. You know how he's in Fort Dix. 50 Cent said he made sure that the first interview about the Netflix documentary, it 100% would be on ABC. Why did he say that? Because ABC is one of the only channels shown in jail consistently. And that means why 50 Cent was going around cheesing ear to ear, doing a victory lap and dunking on Diddy's legacy. Y'all, him and everybody else in Fort Dix is sitting there watching. I wonder if he had a viewing party. I wonder how they feel about Pac and Biggie. I wonder how they feel about him lying about everything. And I wonder if anybody's figured out Diddy is right where he needs to be. And again, the jury, the dumbass jury, F those jurors that actually came out. I told you, I did a live about it, and I told y'all about that. And I told you the dumb shit they were on. I was accused of being a liar, and now we got their dumb shit actually on. We actually have their dumb shit actually on screen, right? F those jurors, because they had the boogeyman that did so many horrible things against so many people, and they had him, and they could have made him, kept them close and kept them safe in jail and kept the community safe. And what did they do? They let him go, all because he was nodding in the making of the band. And another person's like, your hand can't clap with one hand. No, they had too much love. No, that Indian juror, or he was West Indian, I don't know, F him, and ponytail, yeah. What is it? To quote Tupac, F Bad Boy is a staff, a label, and an MF and crew. And if you down with Bad Boy, F you too. West side till I die. F y'all, my performance. Okay, let me stop. Anyway, y'all, if this wasn't copyright, they should have ended with Tupac's Hit 'Em Up. But you know, it was a serious journalistic effort. I will say this. Watch the documentary. It's not a hit piece. It's one of the best pieces of journalistic investigation we have seen into the Diddy trial. And it looks like it might be nominated for an Emmy. And it's #1 in almost every country in the world. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.